This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello and welcome to another edition of C2C Rankem. I'm the host, Big B, along with my co-host halfway around the world, the Prime Moves, Tim Hendricks. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. Excited. We do one of my favorite lists. I'm not quite sure if it's one of your favorite lists, but you know, I like doing this. You learn a lot about things when you do lists like these, and I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, no, this is definitely, I mean, outside of the state's weird laws, this is definitely one of my fun things to do, just to find out, not only for our birthdays, but, just, kind of see who's out there, what day has the most famous birthdays, I guess. But so today we're doing birthdays and November. So let's start with the 19th, which was yesterday. So happy belated birthday to all those that have the birthdays with these 5 to 10 celebrities that we pick. So
did you go 10?
What do you think we got?
Like 5 to 10. Wait, did you do 10?
No, between the two of us.
How many do I think we got? 3.
Yeah, I was thinking 3. I could see 4.
I can see 4. Definitely 3.
I was thinking, looking at this list, there's 3 solid ones. So
yeah.
All right. Well, you typically get to start it off, so let's get it started.
Well, let me get started. I push a button. Next thing I know, it goes down my list, and I'm like, that doesn't do me any good. Let's see. We're gonna go in the world of acting. I remember this woman. She hasn't done much as of late. I haven't seen her do much of late, but I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong. There was 2 movies that starred both the same person, the same 2 people, but they seemed like they were the exact same movie, except one was filmed in Seattle and the other one was in New York, I want to think. And I know eventually somehow they get to New York in one of the other ones. But it just seemed like it was the same movie, and I watched them back to back, and it did really look like they were the same movie. And they both have Tom Hanks, and they both have my number 5. But my favorite movie from number 5 is when she was with Billy Crystal, and it was When Harry Met Sally, and it always comes back to this one scene in the diner, and it always comes up with one of the best quotes by a little old lady who couldn't be no younger than 83, and she makes the comment, "I'll have what she's having." The two movies I'm talking about with Tom Hanks is Sleepless in Seattle and You've Got Mail. My number 5 is Meg Ryan.
There is a lot of people that compare those 2 movies, like you said, that it's the same movie but not the same movie. My number 5, we're going to go into the world of design, fashion. I know for a guy that doesn't dress up that much, going to get into fashion. But what can you say?
I'm in a sweatshirt, so don't feel so bad.
Yeah, so I mean, I might not be able to fit into this guy's clothes, and I think a lot of women like him. I'm going Calvin Klein.
Yeah, I can't fit in his crap.
Yeah.
I can't fit in it. And the funny thing is, it's like I look
I don't
at
think
it.
my wallet could fit into his clothes.
Oh, my wallet definitely can't fit into it. Yeah, I wish. Believe me, I think that was one reason why I wasn't popular in high school, wasn't because I didn't have designer clothes.
I agree there.
Yeah, so
All right.
my number 4, I'm going to go to the diamond. I'm going to a player I think that gets, kind of gets overlooked, specifically around the generation that he comes from. To me, arguably one of the top 2 best catchers in the Dodgers organization. If it weren't for a car accident, I think he plays a lot longer. Really, really, really good player that you put right alongside Jackie Robinson back in the day. Absolutely, and everybody's going to say, "Well, who do you think is the first Dodger?" Arguably, I think it's Mike Piazza. I think Piazza is probably a number one, 1A, but I put this guy in. He would have been. I think it would have been hands down this guy if he played longer. If it weren't for the accident that crippled him. I like the guy. I think it's a shame. But my number 4 is Roy Campanella.
All right, I'm going number 4 here. I'm going to pull a little homer card here.
Yeah.
I should have looked, but I know he's a former Viking. I want to say defensive back, but I'm thinking wide receiver. Game show host, married to
Felicia.
Claire Huxtable from the Cosby Show. I did not know he had a different name.
I did.
Was born Bobby Moore.
Yep, I do.
But my number 4, a.k.a. Bobby Moore, we know him as Ahmad Rashad.
The number 1 Michael Jordan lover in the world. Holy
Oh, my God, yes.
Yes.
I remember watching a clip of him hosting. I don't know if he was hosting like a celebrity or a Jeopardy, but it was some kind of Jeopardy show like that.
Right.
And they had four greatest championship NFL teams or something like that. And the list was the Niners, Oakland, the Cowboys, and the 4th choice was the Minnesota Vikings. And when he said that, he's just like, he just looked at the camera. He's just like, really? Yeah. So you're number 3.
Yeah, I actually had an Ahmad Rashad rookie card.
Wow.
Yeah. My number 3. The WWF kind of made a running joke about this guy because he thought it was brilliant to buy the rival company from oh man, I used to know who he bought it from. Now it's stuck in my it's gone out of my head.
If it's what I'm thinking of, is Crockett.
Yeah, Jim Crockett. But he was the big guy that thought it'd be great. He was the original guy to put baseball, his local team, on a cable show. Yeah. But he's also the guy that let me watch Chips and Dukes of Hazzard on TBS. And then he had TNT. This guy was a media mogul for the longest time. Thank God he's still alive. And then I think everybody thinks that he screwed up by marrying Jane Fonda. I could care less. But and it's funny when you realize he's a billionaire and he loves wrestling and it's amazing. And then I think his biggest success with wrestling was that he hired Eric Bischoff. I thought it was such a brilliant idea, and he didn't. And the thing is, he didn't start him out as an executive producer. He started him off as basically a guy who was doing all the interviews. Now he lives in Montana. This would have been great last week when we had Montana as a place where people were born, because this would have been so much easier. And he's got a ton of land out there. The owner of this is my dad hates this guy. Hates this guy to a T, because the Braves are in Atlanta and not Milwaukee. And I'm not sure if it's Ted Turner's fault, and I don't think my dad knows either. But my number 3 is Ted Turner.
Yeah, I don't know if he's the one that moved him from Milwaukee to Atlanta, but well, my number 3, we're going to the diamond. Your number 2 all-time greatest LA Dodger catcher
Is the Immaculate Grid.
Yeah. is Roy Campanella. Yeah. What can you say about the guy? I mean, like you said, the accident, he probably propels him as the number 1 catcher of all time, if not maybe even the number 1 greatest Dodger of all time. I mean,
right.
I know that's, could be a whole list themselves. So, but you're number 2.
My number 2, outside, I'm going back to the silver screen, back to the movie world. What can you not say about this woman? This woman is another one of these. If everything she's in, she touches, turns to gold. If it weren't for Meryl Streep, I think my number 2 has more Oscars, and more Academy Awards. But I don't think she blames. I think they're like almost best friends. The first time I ever saw her, she did a movie called, what was it? She was young, Paper Dolls. And she was really, really young, really, really, really young, like 7, 8, 9 years old. She was young, but she really got her name in a movie called Silence of the Lambs, where she was absolutely scared by anything that Anthony Hopkins would say, because he just portrayed himself off being so sinister. Disappointing that she never redid the roles later. But then again, she did everything. She did stuff, started doing she did a movie called Nell, which I believe is probably her best role today. She did Contact, which I absolutely love. I will watch anything that she ever does. She could legitimately do the play-by-play for Dallas versus New England, and I might just watch it just to listen to her call. But to me, I think she's probably 1 or 2 my favorite actresses of all time. And I know it's one of my wife's favorites, so I'm not too far off here. My number 2 is Jodie Foster.
That was a good pick there. I'm kind of surprised you didn't have Foster and Ryan together. I thought maybe you would have had them both together. Well, my number 2,
put it up there,
is your number 3, Ted Turner. What can you say? The guy, biggest success, for wrestling, hiring Eric Bischoff. But I think more or less than that is that he gave Eric Bischoff the checkbook and just said, you just go write whoever you can. So Bischoff had some good ideas, but I think Ted Turner just willingness just to go and say, hey, if you want this guy, you go get him whatever it took. And Bischoff took advantage of that, and the guy still became a billionaire. It's still a billionaire after all that.
He became a bigger billionaire, and then
yeah.
And Bischoff's got that show called 83 Weeks because of what Ted Turner let Bischoff do.
Oh yeah. And Bischoff said that too. He goes, and the thing is, I know we're talking about Ted Turner, but Bischoff even said plenty of times that stuff he did was just dirty, and he would do it again if he had to. He wouldn't change his mind. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So number 2, Ted Turner. You're number 1.
My number 1, I don't know why I do this. I should probably never do this ever again, but I tend to put presidents number 1. And this one is the only president that has never that has served 2 terms but never served them consecutively. And he's the number 20th president Actually, he'd be the 20th and the 22nd, if I'm not mistaken. Or I might be wrong completely because I'm thinking of Grover Cleveland. This is the guy in between Grover Cleveland, who was the 19th and the 21st. My number one is James Garfield, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that's where Bill Davis got the name of the cat from.
Wow.
I'll be wrong, completely wrong. I have no problems being wrong.
No, I don't think you're wrong. I just didn't think that. I mean, I saw the name and I'm just like, and I knew you were going to put presidents on there. And when you didn't have them, if you didn't have them 4 or 5, I'm just like, no, let's see here. You said Cleveland.
Grover Cleveland. No, I said James Garfield. Grover Cleveland I think is named after. I think Grover Cleveland is what Cleveland, the city's named after.
All right. Oh, I can't spell today.
That's okay.
Yeah. So, anyways, my number one. This guy, an interviewer, late night mostly, and typically if there was a big scandal or a big story, this guy interviewed everybody. And I'm talking about the one and only Larry King.
I didn't have him on the list.
I was surprised you did. I thought you would have.
The funny thing is,
how's it going, buddy, today? We're doing good. Just started off our list of birthdays in November. So
I had, if it makes you feel better, I had Calvin Klein at 9, and I had Ahmad Rashad at 6.
It makes me feel a little bit better.
Any better that I had Miss Elizabeth at 7?
Oh, I missed that one. That one I would have had. I probably took Calvin Klein off. I missed Miss Elizabeth
and then Adam Driver at 8.
Yeah. Who cares about Adam Driver?
My stepdaughter, but we won't say that out loud.
Yeah. So he was the 20th president. That's all they gave him.
So yeah, that means it's Grover Cleveland was 19 and 21.
Yeah. All right. So let's move into the next day today, the 20th. So happy birthday to everybody that has birthdays today. You share the birthdays with these lovely, 5 to 10 people, depending on how many we hit up. So
they're good. We only did 5.
I'm oh man. I'm gonna go 2.
I can see
nobody really stuck out at me, and I kind of just
this is gonna hurt. I have this feeling this one's gonna hurt you.
Uh-oh.
I guess at this point I've got 2 curveballs. Okay. I'm worried now.
I didn't see too many people that stuck out. But how many did you say, Tim?
I said I think 3, but we'll go 2 just to be safe.
Yeah. All right. Well, my first one at number 5, I pretty much just put him on there. Just the fact of his family. Like I said, this one was just nobody really stuck out at me. But if you're part of the Kennedy family, if you know the history, you probably know birthdays and all that. So my number 5 is Robert F. Kennedy.
Yeah, and if you know his kid has now become a member of the cabinet for Trump. So yeah.
Yeah, so it's Linda McMahon.
Yeah, I saw. Oh yeah, and okay, I got this one. This is funny because I'm not gonna make this political. I just thought it was ironic when she was part of the first cabinet where she was the head of small business, and yet she's the owner of the biggest wrestling company in the world. And I thought that was hilarious. And then I realized, and then I find out yesterday that she's becoming the head of public education, which none of her kids have ever had, or herself. Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. But my number 5.
All right.
My number 5. 2 years ago, when we started this show, we had a little category called the weirdest things, the funniest answers ever shown on Family Feud.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I remember this guy. I didn't realize this guy was British American until I read it. But I think the reason why he got the job for the Running Man, where he plays a game show host in the Running Man, is because he was a game show host on a little show called Family Feud. Honestly, this guy would probably get canceled today because I don't think you should be able to allowed to kiss all the women like he did every time he saw a woman in a family. But I think this guy ranks right up there with Bob Barker and probably and Alex Trebek as probably one of the top 3 greatest game show hosts of all time. My number 5 is the father of the Family Feud, Richard Dawson.
Wow, I did not see Richard Dawson's name on there. Oh. he was. I don't know if he'd be canceled, but yeah, he wouldn't. He probably wouldn't be as famous because that's the thing is that was his little skit there.
That was his little thing there.
Yeah, but no. Yeah, I would like to see him host it today with all the weird questions they have and all the funny answers they get. Just to see what he'll do. That's a good one. My number 4, Tim. We go back to this every once in a while. We met in a little teen nightclub, Night Moves in Michigan. Music brought us together. I got one, if I can recall. I think this was a group of 3-4 individuals, maybe. I got one, whatever part of them. I got Mike D of the Beastie Boys.
Oh, you did go with Mike D. Wow, I didn't think you were going to go with Mikey D.
Yeah,
that's impressive.
Yeah, your number 4.
My number 4. You've got to be special when the United States decides to name something after you've long been since dead, and we still use this a lot, especially when we want to look at different planets like Mars and Venus and Jupiter and look deep into space. And it's nice that we named it after an American astronomer. It'd be stupid if we named it after German astronomer because he's German and not American. So we not name something that the Americans use to see to the deepest reaches parts of space. And now I understand where they get it from. My number 4 is the American astronomer Edwin Hubble.
The Hubble scope. All right. Yeah, 2's looking slimmer and slimmer, but we still got hope here. Because at number 3, again, we just had a president on the 19th. Now I'm going to throw one out there on the 20th. Again, we don't talk political too much, but when you're the leader of a country, got to throw them up there. My number 3 is Joe Biden.
We said how many? Just out of curiosity.
I said 2.
You said 2. Okay, 2. Yeah. We might have problems.
Okay.
This one's 3, right?
You're on 3. Yep.
Okay, cool. You somehow you got to get on this list. We have like 3 sayings on this show. Either it's the phrase that pays, or it's not C2C unless you're sniping.
Yep.
And then there's the guy who then you have to be the first at something.
Yep.
Well, this guy's the first at something.
Ooh.
And it's funny because they kind of reference him in 8 Men Out, the baseball movie about the Chicago White Sox from 1908, the Black Sox. This is the guy that hands down the lifetime ban and the lifetime suspension of the people who were part of that. Also, there's a picture of him and Babe Ruth somewhere out there, which I think is hilarious. But I have the first Major League Baseball commissioner, Kennesaw Mountain Landis.
Can you use that in a sentence, please?
Not
Oh, that's a good one. Good that's a good curveball there. Tim with his historical figures. All right. My number 2, an actress. I know I've seen her in a couple other films and what she's known for or has been. I want to say she was in Mulan.
Oh, you really? You went her?
Wow.
No, she's on the list. God, don't get me wrong. I know she's there.
Okay. Well, you got it through because I was trying to figure out where else I've seen her in.
She was in The Mandalorian. If I know The Mandalorian, The Book of Fett, Book of Boba Fett. She was also in. I think she was in ER for a little bit.
ER, not ER.
Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah, Shield. She's the voice of Mulan and Mulan. But honestly, I saw a picture. I didn't realize, being 61, man, she's, she could make somebody's top 10 list.
She was, but she was also she was Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too. That's what it was.
Yeah, that's where, yeah. So that's Ming Dong Wen.
Yeah. So, God, 2, right? You said 2.
Yeah, we got 2.
Oh, you got 2. We got to do 2, and we got 2 left, right?
Yeah. Well, you have 2 left. I have 1 left.
All right, I've got 2 left. You've got 1. So we're going to make this a little easier. We've got this saying on C2C Rankem. It's not C2C unless you're sniping, and that's the phrase that pays. So I'm going to give them. I have now used 3 on 2 and 3, but my number 2 is your number 5, Robert Kennedy.
Oh, okay. Oh, you went that way with number 2. Okay. My number 1, I gotta say, very impressed with anybody that can do this sport because I'm not flexible and
No, you didn't.
And so with her being who she is and anybody that watches the Olympics, know who I'm talking about, and that's Donna McDawes.
Oh, I thought you went the because Carrie Strug was on there too, and I couldn't remember what day she was on.
Oh, I didn't see Carrie.
Yeah, Carrie Strug is on there somewhere, and I can't remember what day she was on. Oh, I thought that's who you went. Okay, you and Dominique Dawes. I know who you're talking about, but
yeah.
Part of the miracle.
The Magnificent Seven. Yes,
Magnificent Seven. Right.
And I can never remember that group. I don't know. I know them all, but I can't remember them. That was.
What was it? That was Dominique Dawes, Simone Biles. That was
Carrie Strug was yesterday, the 19th.
Oh, okay. So we missed her completely. Cool. So
I did miss her completely. God,
no, I knew she was there. I just couldn't remember where I was. Well, you know what? We're going to do. You know what? For my number 1, we're going to do the thing again. We're going to go. It's not C2C unless we're sniping, which is the phrase that pays. My number 1 is Joe Biden, which is your number 3.
3. Yeah. So the Magnificent Seven, Amanda Bowden, Dominique Dawes, Shannon Miller, Dominic Mochu, J.C. Phillips, Carrie Strug, Amy Crow are the.
That was the year. That was the year. That was the. Yeah,
96.
That was the. Yeah, that was 96.
Yeah.
Really? Holy hell!
Oh yeah, 96. Those girls put U.S. gymnastics
back.
on.
Yeah.
So we got 2, so we're battling 4 for 10.
Sweet.
We could be cracking the Oakland A's lineup here soon.
All right, because it's
all right. So let's move on to the 21st. People that were born yesterday, you'll find out who you share a birthday with
tomorrow. Yesterday's 19th. Tomorrow's
21st. Yeah.
Yeah, if you were born yesterday, you'll find out who was born tomorrow.
Yep, exactly. So,
Oh gosh.
I'm going to go out. I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to put one of my limb cards here. We got number 1 correct.
Ooh. I think so. I'm going to say I'm doubled up on. Hold on. I got to count it. 2,
You're doubled up? Oh, man.
3. Technically, I'm tripled up in a way, and I have a curveball. I'm tripled up on one, doubled up on another, and then I've got a curveball in there too.
Oh, okay. All right. I got curveball too, so
It's probably the same curveball.
I'm gonna go a safe 3. I think.
I think three's solid. I think three's really good. Maybe I think 4 is a possibility because I've got 19 people on this list.
Yeah, no kidding.
For this day.
All right, so we might go with the C2C Magnificent 5.
We're gonna go the roundabout 5. It's gonna be 5.
You kick it off.
My number 5, I'm gonna start off with my curveball, which means I have this feeling if it's the same curveball, you snuck them higher just to get it. Actually, it don't even matter where you snuck them because I got to go first.
You gotta go first. Yep.
That means I sniped all around at this point because I'm at number 5. So no matter where you have my number 5, he sniped anywhere. That makes me feel so much better. I don't know about you, but I know about you. But funny thing is, I find out that in Italy, especially back in the 70s and the 80s, they watch cartoons on Saturday.
Oh, you butthead.
And the weird thing is my wife actually had a T-shirt of this character. And it's so bad, because they call this character on Looney Tunes TT. And this is a bro code conversation. We're going to stop it at this point. But voiced by Mel Blanc. But you always saw him, and it's a him. Why anybody else thought it was different is kind of shocking. But you always saw him with Sylvester the Cat. So I'm going to right now decide to cut the throats and slice and snipe right now. My number 5 is Tweety Bird.
Yeah, he's out there. He's not at number 5 though. And the thing is, I saw that and I'm like, okay, I'm going to put him on there. And now I'm looking at the list. I'm like, okay, Tim goes first. There's a slim chance he might push him up a little bit. So,
and then you see the rest of the people on the day, and you're going,
yeah, they're different names, but my number 5, we're going into the square circle. We're going with probably one of the guys of the great bloodline dynasty, and that is going to be one Alpha Anoya from the Wild Samoans.
I'm going to make you feel real. I'm going to make you feel a little more pain.
All right,
so that's all right. I'll give you that one because right now at number 4, half of my double up has been sniped at 5 by you. Alpha Anoy, I believe he's Roman Reigns' dad.
That's what I was trying to look to see if I could figure out who.
I'm trying to remember if that's Roman Reigns' dad or Joe and Jimmy and Jay Usos. And I'm not related, even though I'm Prime Uso. I'm not Samoan, by the way. I'll let you look that up. But this is where the triple. This is where it's kind of sticky, where it'd be a triple up, but they're twins. And I wasn't sure. I'm still not sure. And I'm going to ask this question afterwards. One is known to be married to an AEW wrestler. Another was at one point engaged to John Cena. To me, I think, can't say that there's that many female tag team groups out there, but I'm guessing this would probably be the best. One I'm not sure if I'm not honestly. After I said that, now I have to put him in the Hall of Fame.
By the family tree, he's just he's a father of neither one of them. So cousin, uncle.
Alpha, what, who's his
Yeah.
kid? Oh no, he's just an uncle.
Yeah,
Okay,
he's
good.
just an uncle. Yep.
Okay. So yeah, Rosie and Roman are Sika's kids.
Rosie.
I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Anyways, keep going with who you have.
Anyway, okay, my 4A, like I said, was Alpha. My 4B and C are the Bella twins, Brie and Nikki Bella.
Oh wow, I missed them.
They weren't in the big.
Yeah, I know. I still skipped through it because I was having trouble. I missed them.
Yep, I caught it.
Well, good for you. God, this whole tree here is just like
yeah. We could do a whole show on just the
yeah. So I'm trying to find out where. Yeah, so I'm just trying to find out where Roman lies into this.
Roman and okay. Let's see, Roman. There's 7 kids. Holy hell!
Oh yeah, it was big.
Let's see, professional career. No, I don't want. He was in a Marine Corps, so he's technically a brother of mine.
Oh, there he is. Okay, so yeah, it was Sika was Roman's dad. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
All right, so let's go on. You're at 4 we did. Well,
Yep.
you have to butthead and steal Tweety at 4 at 5, but yeah, I got Tweety Bird at 4. All right, you're number 3.
That's all right. I play dirty too. That's fine. My number 4. Okay, hold on.
Number 3.
Number 3. My number 3. The only spot besides Tweety Bird where I'm not doubled up. I'm going back to the movies. When she first started her career, she did a little TV show called Laugh-In in the early 70s, early to mid 70s, and got her big start there. But I love this. She did Private Benjamin in the late 70s, early 80s. And then she did a TV show, or she did a movie called Wildcats, where she plays a female football coach in high school. And if I'm not mistaken, this is one of the first movies that Woody Harrelson and Wesley Snipes did. So they go back way back. I can't remember if that's their first movies, but I know they're in that movie. But
really, they're in that movie,
huh?
They're in that movie, huh?
Wildcats, yeah. But my favorite movie of hers is she did with her husband Kurt Russell is a movie called Captain Ron. No, Overboard. Don't get me. I want to get that one right. It's Overboard. Absolutely loved Overboard. I think it's amazing to see her range. She also did Death Becomes Her. Absolutely. I heard she plays opposite Meryl Streep and Bruce Willis. But the father, the mother, the father. That's great. I'm talking about a woman and she's become a father. But she is the mother to Kate Hudson, Oliver Hudson, and Wyatt Russell. I absolutely love her. Goldie Hawn.
All right, my number 3, going to the diamond. I, go old school. You see the name all the time. I've been seeing his name come up in a few sporting card rips now. That's one thing I like about some of the products that some sport cards pull out is they bring in some of the older generation players. This guy is no different. My number 3 is Stan Musial.
Wow, he's that low?
Yeah. That low at 3.
Wow, that low at 3. I know who your number 1 is because He's at my number one. And the funny thing is, it's Killebrew. That's the I
You're
keep
number
thinking,
two.
who is the logo named after? It was based off of
MLB logo?
it's Killebrew.
Killebrew.
Yeah, it's Killebrew. I keep
They
thinking
won't confirm or deny it.
Huh?
MLB won't confirm or deny that he's the logo.
Yeah, I think it could be either one. I thought it could either been Mutual or Killebrew, but that's just me.
Yeah.
But
yeah, if you find, I'll see if I can find it. But somebody's put up like a picture of Killebrew swinging up to the logo, and then they kind of merge them together.
Yeah, they're almost identical.
But MLB says it wasn't Killebrew.
Yeah, they can say whatever they want. They can say a lot of things that like steroids didn't help baseball. They can say a lot. My number two is another one of my double ups. I love to talk to mess around and see if he agrees with me. But
just got him off the nap.
This was the first week in 3 weeks. 4 weeks. He wasn't on the show this week. Little disappointed. But after what Green Bay did to Chicago, I wouldn't want to be hit found either. And especially after you lose to Indy, I don't want to be on screen either. To me, I think the greatest Chicago Bear quarterback of all time, in the Hall of Fame. To me, I don't know if my 2B should be in the Hall of Fame because first of all, I don't like the guy. You go from Oklahoma and then you decide to go, I don't want to play at Oklahoma, which was a powerhouse back in the 80s, to go to UCLA. Why? But that's just me because that's just to me the arrogance of my number 4B. I'm going to give my 4B first because I still think Roger Staubach is the best Cowboy quarterback of all time. I don't think this guy should be in the Hall of Fame just based on numbers alone. I think he was a product of his surroundings. Having Michael
and you and everybody on C2C except for the Cowboy fans will agree.
Yep. I think Emmett and Irvin and Harper made him better, and Novacek made him better, which is kind of like I think the Brock Purdy incident going on in San Francisco. And you could have put a mule back there, and they win a Super Bowl in Dallas. My 2B is Troy Aikman, and I will die on this hill. The greatest quarterback in Chicago Bears history, I think, could play now.
Jim McMahon.
I think that pisses Bears fans off that Jim McMahon went and won a Super Bowl in Green Bay. But that's just me. That's gotta hurt. But my 2A is Sid Luckman.
I did see the name on there. I didn't see Aikman. I would not have put Aikman on there anyways because, like you said, I mean, he got gifted via the infamous trade from Minnesota to Chicago or to Dallas. Got gifted that team.
But the funny thing is, everybody's like, "Who do you think benefited?" I keep running through my head because they always give you two options. Who benefited from the Herschel Walker trade, Minnesota or Dallas? And Mike, who? And the first thing I'm thinking of is Troy Aikman did because Troy Aikman.
I mean, but you look at it, Dallas benefited honestly the whole Kuka battle,
right?
Because they gave up Herschel Walker for 11 players.
Right.
Which in 2 years, Herschel Walker ended up back on Dallas.
Right.
The Chargers benefited way better because they gave up nobody and got Nelson, I think it was, for the trade. He was a guy that was just throwing in.
Yeah.
And he went to the Chargers and they gave up nothing.
Right.
And Minnesota got Herschel Walker, who had one good game in Minnesota.
You know who else, and nobody understands this, you know who else benefits from this? And this guy hurts you because you can remember the Kevin Smith, because part of that trade was Kevin Smith they traded to the Atlanta Falcons. Dallas traded to the Atlanta Falcons and picked up Kevin Smith. And that was basically part of the Brett Favre deal to get Brett Favre into Atlanta to be drafted by Atlanta, because that was the pick that Atlanta picked when they picked Favre the year after.
Oh, really?
And then technically the team that benefits the second most out of that was the Green Bay Packers.
Yeah. If I remember right, there's like a whole like or a Wikipedia page about the trade where everybody
Oh,
went to.
I've read it. I've read that thing like I read it like I wrote it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just ridiculous. One guy for 11 players. Nobody. Yeah,
Tell that to it's like you say that and then you go, well, the Rams did it. Rams did it later.
Well, but the thing is the Rams did it, but
and the Saints did it too.
Yeah,
the Rams, the Saints, and the Dolphins. And the funny thing is, 2 of those trades were for the same person.
Yeah. I'm just looking at it now, and San Diego pretty much gave up a 5th-round pick for Darren Nelson.
Yeah.
And then
how long did Nelson last? How long did Nelson last in San Diego?
Oh, I don't think he lasted long.
2 years tops, maybe.
But I mean, just a quick, the players in the deal was Solomon, Howard, Holt, and Stewart, and then the picks were Minnesota's first in the 90 draft, second round, first round, second round, and 6th round in 1990. The first round in 91.
That was the one that got sent to Atlanta. That was the one?
Well, no, that one was the first
San
round
Francisco.
Conditional on cutting Solomon.
Right.
The second round pick was on conditional on cutting Howard in 91. Also in 1992 was a first round pick that went to Dallas. And then Minnesota's second round pick conditions met by trading away Nelson. So they had to trade Nelson for Dallas to get another pick. And then in 93 they got 3rd round. All right, so back to our topic here, 21st birthdays. My number 2, Tim, correct me if I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
When I say the name, you're going to be like, yep, you're right. I have killed this person off so many times because I've mistaken her for somebody else.
Susan Sarandon?
Is it Susan Sarandon? I thought it was this person. Maybe you're right. Maybe it is Susan Sarandon.
Susan Sarandon. You've killed Susan Sarandon off on one day 12 times.
Yeah. Okay. So I thought it was this one because my number 2.
Because you thought it was Susan Summers.
Your number 3 is Goldie Hawn.
I love that girl. It was because we did Suzanne Summers, and every time Suzanne Summers came.
Oh, that's what it is. Suzanne Summers, Susan Sarandon. Yeah, you're right. I knew you remember, but for some reason I had Goldie Hawn in the back of my mind, thinking that's who I always killed off. So.
You kill off Susan Sarandon like it's cool.
Yeah. All right, you're number 1.
She may be dead 3 more times by the end of this year.
Yeah.
My number 1. Well, I'm gonna give you the phrase that pays for 1A. What can you say when you see my dad? And the thing is, my dad had 3 autographs of Stan Musial.
Wow.
3 of them. Because, back in the day, it was Top Sterling came out in like the mid-2000s where, how they are now, where they've got the 2 boxes and they have this thing and then they've got one thing and here. Well, the box was just this player. And there was 5 cards and there were like autographs and mems. Anybody who's not into the sports memorabilia stuff, a mem is a memorabilia. But he got 3, and then he got 3 autographs out of Stan Musial in a box. Box costs $500-$600, and my dad gets 3, and his whole box was Stan Musial. But we've talked about Stan Musial enough. Greg's going to like the fact is we talked a little bit about Stan Musial, but we're not here for Stan Musial. Not at 1A. 1B, when somebody, I knew this was the guy to follow in baseball, is that when he says that if the Yankees ever offered me a contract, I would retire. If they're the only team that gave me a contract, I would retire. That was going to be my favorite player of all time. And the funny thing is, my brother had 89 Donruss, 2 full pages of 89 Donruss. He traded every one of those cards for a 1961 Lou Gehrig. This is before all of a sudden the kid became the kid. Now my brother's regretting every time that he gets it. To me, the best looking baseball card is the 89 Upper Deck. Got to be the world's. I think I love that card. Still, to me, I'm still trying to find that. Much like the 1989 Upper Fleer Billy Ripken. If you know, you know. But to me, yeah, this kid, and we keep calling him kid. The guy's at least 10 years older than we are. And probably the originator of the brawny LeBron thing, where you play with your dad when he played with his dad in the outfield in the Seattle Mariners. My number 1B is Ken Griffey Jr.
You think the 89 upper deck is the coolest?
I love the 89. I love the 89 Upper Deck. It's so hard to get now. It's not.
I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at his card right now because, I mean, honestly, the sweetest swing in baseball, the kid.
It's absolutely
honestly, my number 1 outfielder. I mean, I know I'm a Puckett fan, but Kirby Puckett did his thing, but Griffey had it all. I mean, but no, yeah. I mean, to be able to play with your dad, for how many games, to be able to homer back to back, with your dad. I mean, that's just speaking of itself. But yeah, I like Junior. So we got 3.
But I like. We got 3. I thought we got more than 3.
Oh no, we got usual too.
We got 5. We got the C2C. We got the C2C 5.
Oh yeah, that's right. You did. We did get the C2C 5 because you had
the Stan Usual, the Ken Griffey Jr., the Goldie Hawn, the Alpha, and the Tweety Bird.
Yep. You're right. We got the C2C 5. Yeah. So, and if anybody's looking to wonder what we're talking about, long story. It's we rank them 1 through 5. Typically, with Tim's 27 double ups, we might have a 5 on it. So, yeah. So there's only been one time though we've gone 5 for 5 from.
We did the immaculate. So. We did the 5 for 5 immaculate.
Yep.
Once.
We've only done that once. So. All right, so let's go to the 24th, 4 days from now. So this one, I do have a double up on this one.
I do. I put it at 6, so I don't have a double up.
You put it at 6.
I have 3 curveballs.
Ooh. Wow, I wish you would go first now on this one. God. With that being said, I'm oh man, who do you have? Who don't you have on my list? That's what I'm kind of looking at here. Because I was going to go 3 right off the bat, and now that you said you had 3 curveballs.
I had trouble. I had trouble with finding people.
Really? On the 24th?
I had problems. I just couldn't find people that I want. I put one on specifically because I wanted it on because I think it was necessary.
I bet you that's the one I have too.
I think it's more important that one is.
Yep.
So I think we know which one. So on that alone, I think we're going 3.
See, I was going to go 3, and I was going to go 3 a different way. But, yeah, I'll go 3.
Yeah.
So, my number 5, again, is in the music world.
Nope.
It's a double up. And granted, they're not the face of their groups. But being part of these groups, I think you should be on the list. And that is the drummer for both Beatles and the drummer for Leonard Skinner. Leonard Skinner drummer is Bob Burns, and the drummer for the Beatles is Pete Best.
Yeah, the original drummer for the Beatles. Golly. Wow. Okay.
All right, Tim.
Well, it's not C2C unless we're sniping. My number 5 is your number 5. I have the original drummer of the Beatles, Pete Best.
All right. Gotcha at 5. My number 4, I don't want to go down the dark hole of this guy, but we all know his name. There's been plenty of documentaries coming out of this guy. As a matter of fact, the one I just recently saw, I think it was on Netflix a year or so ago, I would not have watched unless I watched it just because of the actor that played him. And that documentary was the Ted Bundy one.
I know which one you're talking about. I saw that one too.
Yeah, Zac Efron. I couldn't think of the actor's name for a second, but yeah. I put Ted Bundy at number 4.
Yep, he's in my double up.
All right. What other serial killer you have at number 4?
I don't have a serial killer. That's my number 4. This is the first time. This is the first time we've ever had this type of person on the list, especially considering what it's about. I thought he needed to be on the list because, we talk about all the bad things that happened on 9/11, and I thought this guy would have been perfect and needed to be on my list. An absolute American hero because considering where this plane was headed, he saved a lot of lives. I believe him and the rest of the passengers from Flight 93. But everybody knows him. I know. Nick Anderson puts him on his Facebook page every time for 9/11. And what's one of the reasons why I follow Nick Anderson is because Nick Patrick. It's because he puts it on there, and I think that's a reason why he's on my list. I'll let the fact go that he is an Ohio State Buckeyes fan, but that goes without saying. My number 4 is Todd Beamer.
Okay. No, I just want to make sure there's something here first. I want to make sure I say the guy's job right.
Job.
Well, that just because I get these two commissioners mixed up on what sport, and being a sports fan, it's kind of embarrassing that I keep mixing these guys up. But
Oh no!
my number 3 is the NFL commissioner, which a lot of people probably think he's one of the best commissioners of the sport, of a sport, and that's Paul Tagliabue.
Yeah. I saw him on the list. I legitimately saw him on the list, and yeah.
All right, number 3.
My number 3, as you have nicely put, that I live in the country of Italy. Here's my third curveball, just so you know. But I know growing up, Walt Disney did a movie called Pinocchio, and I've seen an original copy in a home that I got a chance to tour in Milano, which was one of the homes for Leonardo da Vinci while he was painting the Sistine Chapel, or not the Sistine Chapel. I'm sorry. When he was painting the Last Supper, which he did right across the street, and I've seen the book. I'm going to slaughter this name, and my wife's going to say you've lived in this country now for 6 years, and you still find a way to kill this name. I kill every name in Italy. Don't be too shocked. And I asked my wife if she knew who the author was of Pinocchio, and of course she comes up with the name because it's Italian. It's an Italian work. My number 3 is Carlo Collodi.
All right. I'm not going to say you butchered it because I don't know the right pronouncing. So, my number 2, a great assist guy, great basketball, great. If you follow the NBA, he's got to be, I believe he's in the top 50, but in most cases, I think you can argue he could be in the top 25, top 20, ish around there. That's one Oscar Robinson.
You're gonna make it easy on me. He was the first guy to help Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Lou Alcindor win a championship in Milwaukee. It's not C2C unless we're sniping. It's the phrase that pays. My number 2 is your number 2. Of course, I'm going to have Oscar Robertson on my list.
Yep. All right. My number one, a little disappointed, Tim, that you, not that you had the guy on your list, but where he was at. But my number one is your number 4, I believe he was.
Yep.
And that is Todd Beener. What can you say? The guy put his life on the line to save a lot of people.
Yep.
Got all the respect in the world for that. Well, yeah, there's nothing good that came out of 9/11 except for, just us keeping them, keeping these people in our thoughts and prayers. So, yeah, my number one is Todd.
Yeah, I saw it and I thought right away, and I'm like, I didn't think you were going to put him on, but then again, he had this big thing up there. I'm like, oh heck, I'm like, on this day.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I probably would have put him on there, after going through just to make sure I didn't miss anybody, and then
I'd have honestly missed him. I could have.
I probably would have,
Yeah.
but yeah.
So my number one, this is the third president on the list. I saw it. I'm starting to feel bad that I didn't have Mr. Beamer a little higher, but I have the 12th president of the United States, Zachary Taylor.
Yeah, I saw that one too. All right. We got 2 more dates here. Wow, I didn't realize it was over an hour already. Yeah, we talked a lot today. So let's go to the 27th.
Oh.
God,
this is going to be tough.
Part of me, I'll say right now, if I'm a gambling guy,
I'm doubled up on a spot.
Part of me wants to go 5 for 5 on this one and say we get all 5.
Like I said, I'm doubled at a spot.
But I think my number 3 you do not have on that list. But I'm also going to play it safe, though, and I think I'm going to go 3.
3? All right. I would have said 4, but that's just.
I can see 4. I can see 5. For some reason, my number 3, I don't think you have on your list.
5.
That would be my breaking point.
I could see us going, because I'm doubled up on 4 on a spot. I could honestly see us going 5 or 6, 5 for 6, but
6 for 5, you mean, or whatever.
Yeah. The C2C Dallas Cowboy math. But yeah.
All right. Well, you kick it off.
My number 5. I'm going to the squared circle. I haven't gone to the squared circle that much today, and I could have done it quite a bit. Part of the, we talked about about one wrestling family with the Wild Samoans and the Afa and Sika and the Anoa'i family. But everybody, if you're older like we are, we knew of one wrestling family before everybody else, and that was the Hart family. Well, I see this in him, part of the British Bulldogs with the gentleman. I'm going to be completely wrong, and I'm going to screw that up. You're looking at the birthday, aren't you? Which means
no, I'm looking at something else. I know who you're talking about.
Oh, okay.
How about a partner? You talking about a partner, Dynamite Kid?
Dynamite Kid, right. To me, did you remember there was a Raw episode where he was partners with my number 5 was partners with Lex Luger and
WCW?
And then he shows up on WCW just as he's supposed to walk down with Lex Luger because they were the tag team champions. No, it was who was he partner? He was a tag team with somebody, but he shows up on WCW just as he's supposed to be walking down on WWF because he was a tag team. Yeah, it's screwed up because there was a Nitro and there was a Raw, and he shows up on Nitro, and he was supposed to be on Raw, and they show up at the same. He shows up at the same time he's supposed to walk out in Raw, which I thought was hilarious. And we lost this guy way too soon. Still, I think his best match is with Bret Hart at, was it SummerSlam in Wembley?
Yeah, that was a big.
That was a badass match. And the way he goes out is just sad because I don't think anybody should go out because he died of an infection, didn't he?
What's that?
He died of an infection.
That I don't know. I can look up quick, but go ahead.
But my number 5, and I really wish his kid would. I know he's got a couple kids. I think isn't Hunter Davy Smith his kid too?
No, that's like his nephew.
Oh, okay. But my number 5 is the British Bulldog himself, Davy Boy Smith.
Now you're curious because the only person I know that has technically shown up on both nights of Raw and
was Luger.
No, was Rick Rude.
Right, it was Rick Rude. But see, the thing is, he was supposed to come out at the same time. He was supposed to come out as a tag team because he was a tag team champion. He was supposed to come out with Luger, if I'm not mistaken. But Luger comes out by himself. And they said they were wondering where he was, and Luke and Davy Boy Smith goes walking down the. Davy Boy Smith never wrestled for WCW. No, it was what it was WCW.
Davy Boy Smith wrestled for
WCW.
WCW, yeah. It was him and Luger that they had. They were supposed to do a 6-man tag with Sid and the Booker T at Harlem Heat, and the Shockmaster came out. So yeah, Davey Boy Smith has wrestled on both.
Okay, yeah, he was supposed to come out.
I'll have to look, but I never.
Okay. It was really weird because it was Davey Boy Smith. It was either Davey Boy Smith showed up. It didn't show. It was one of the two. It was Luger or Davey Boy Smith.
Well, Luger showed up on the original Nitro.
Right, and he was supposed to show up. That was what it was. It was Davey Boy and Luger when they were. Remember?
Is that what Davey Boy turned against Kevin Nash?
Right.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, good. Okay. You explained it a little different. I'm like, he never showed up on both.
Okay. No.
I get what you're saying.
One, he was supposed to be one, and he showed up at the other. At the exact same time, he was supposed to be at this one where he didn't show up, and he showed up here. He didn't show up here, but he showed up here.
All right. I'll have to research that one. Anyways. Yeah. All right. So that was your number 4?
5.
5? Okay. Well, my number 4 is your number 5. I got Davey Boy Smith on there.
Who's your number 5?
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I did my number 5.
No.
All right. Well, I already gave my number 4. My number 5 is the guy who because of one role, a cameo, he ended up getting a role on another TV show that was supposed to be a cameo, but that turned out to be, one of the main characters, and that is one Jaleel White.
Okay, that's kind of dirty, but
all right. So you're number 4.
My number 4. Well, I said I was doubled up, and half my phrase that pays is part of your number 5. Is your number 5, but. Did you ever see the picture of Will Smith while he's bungee jumping and he looks exactly
that looks like Uncle Phil?
Yeah. My number 4 is Uncle Phil himself, James Avery.
Oh, Jaleel White and James Avery have a birthday together. I missed that one. Okay. Yeah, that photo cracked me up. Yeah. Yeah.
We're at 3 and only done 2 picks.
Yep. No, we got
3. No. We haven't done 3 yet. Okay, I understand.
Yeah. Go ahead. You're on number 3 because I did my number 4, which was Davey Boy Smith. So
right.
You're number 3.
My number 3, a director.
Time's out.
Yep. Okay, cool. But absolutely, I love her movies. Basically, she put Jeremy Renner on the map with the Hurt Locker. She's also the reason why James Cameron didn't win Director of the Year for Avatar, which makes I love this woman even more. And then she turns around and does a movie called Zero Dark 30. And to me, I love Zero Dark 30. How we explain 9/11. Well, this basically, it's the true story of what happens after 9/11, after we go after Osama bin Laden. My number 3 is the director herself, Catherine Bigelow.
All right. Kind of had me worried there because I thought maybe there was a slim chance I just didn't read the lady's background. But my number 3, she starred in a little TV show, Head of the Class. I think she made a cameo on Cosby Show.
Nope.
In some people's eyes, she's the one that, as a running joke, is the only one to beat Mike Tyson
Before prison.
And speaking of the fight that happened last week,
Before prison.
probably put more punches on Mike Tyson than Paul did. But my number 3 is Robin Givens.
God, I saw that name too, and I'm like, there's no way he's going to put Robin Gibbons on that list.
Yeah.
Well, these next two,
number 2.
I'm going to see where you flip flop at this point. You know, I'm on C2C, and everybody knows me as the Prime Oos, but my last name is not Oos, and it's not Prime. It is Hendricks, and it is not spelled the same. And which is even funnier because I used to have substitute teachers ask me, "Hey, Mr. Hendricks, are you related to Jimmy?" Yes, I am. Problem is, they don't understand is that my grandfather's youngest brother is named James, and we called him Uncle Jimmy. But to me, I think the greatest guitarist of the entire world. And I think Prince would agree with me, is my number 2 from Seattle, Washington himself, Jimi Hendrix.
Oh, yeah, Prince would be. I don't think there's anybody that picks up a guitar and does not think Jimi Hendrix is the greatest guitarist. But my number 2
is my number 1.
Yep, I'm always positive because I had him 1 first, and then I scrolled down, and then it was there. So it sounds like we flip flop, but my number 2, I'm kind of afraid that I put him at number 2 because if he was alive, you'd probably find out, come kick my butt. I have Bruce Lee at number 2.
Yeah, it's not C2C unless we're sniping. It's a phrase that pays. My number 1 is the dragon himself, Mr. Bruce Lee.
All right, and then just to make it official, you sniped me at number 2 with Jimi Hendrix. By far, like I said, anybody that picks up music, picks up a guitar. I really don't think there's any question, debate on the number 1 guitarist of all time.
Nobody's questioning that.
What's that?
Nobody's questioning that. Eddie might be close. Eddie Van Halen might be close.
Yeah,
Eddie would
say debate, but yeah.
But even Eddie would say Jimmy.
Yeah. All right, so let's go into the 30th, the last day.
We almost got a country music story on that last day. Because Eddie Rabbit was my number 7.
Oh. Okay. All right, so November 30th, last day of the month.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm doubled up on 3 spots.
What the heck, man? I'm going to do it because I don't think there's any other names. I mean, you're doubled up, so. But even if you wouldn't have told me that, I was going to go with 5. I think.
Yeah, I think 5's. I just on the top. Yeah, I think 5 is.
I was going to go 5 right away.
Are you doubled up?
No, I'm not doubled up.
Oh, I'm starting to. I have to look at where the 5 might be. Oh, the 5 might be.
I think my number 5 is going to is going to, well, of course, hit if we do go 5-5, but this could be the one that we miss.
And
I doubt it. I doubt it because my number 5.
You're going to start it off. Yes.
Yep. My number 5 is the greatest 2-sport athlete of all time. Played for the Royals, the Raiders, the White Sox,
the Angels. The Angels.
Yeah, Angels. I'm trying to think. He only had 1 football team.
Yep. But originally drafted by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah. And that is one Bo knows all, Bo Jackson.
Yeah. I'm not worried about that one. I was never worried about that one.
All right.
I was never worried about that one. I'm worried about these ones. All right. This is one of my double ups. It's kind of a curveball. All right. One of my favorite movies, my 1A is one of my favorite movies is a Rod Reiner movie, which seems to get quoted and is technically the last movie that Andre the Giant ever did. I love The Princess Bride, but there's this line that gets quoted every time, and I guarantee you, everybody in the United States has at least watched this movie one time, and they don't even. This isn't even a love or hate. They seem to love this movie. But he's got one of the greatest lines I've ever heard in a movie. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Absolutely thrilling. But the reason why I fell in love with this guy was he used to show up on David Letterman when he was doing Broadway musicals, and he would come in and sing for David Letterman just on the off chance, and absolutely love it. But my 5B hits a little. The reason why I got back into Batman himself was because of this voice. The guy who passed away 3, 4, 5 years ago. Matter of fact, I was just playing Arkham City again, where he voices Batman. My 5B is Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman. To me, will always be the voice of Batman. And my 5A is Mandy Patinkin, Inigo Montoya himself.
All right, well, 5 is out.
Not necessarily. I still got 5 more people.
Well, okay.
I still got 6 more people.
Traditional 5 is out. The C2C 5 is still always in play.
Oh, that's still in play, yeah.
My number 4, when you just started describing to people, I thought this is who you're talking about. Because this guy's been actor, director, writer, whatever. And typically when he's hot, or when he was hot, anything he touched was gold. My number 4 is Woody Allen.
Yeah, there goes 5.
Oh, wow.
There goes 5.
Wow.
There goes 5.
All right.
I got a double up here, but at this point, 5 is pretty much shooting in the wind. Or as they like to say, pissing on Superman's cape. So this one's no good. My 4A used to be, for the longest time, if you watched any type of TV on New Year's Eve, you had one guy, and he was the only guy you ever saw, was the guy who basically had American Bandstand back in that's where our parents would know him from, was from the 50s and the 60s. And,
wow.
And went to the American Bandstand, but he then showed up as doing the ball drop in Times Square in New York City. And then they gave that to Ryan Seacrest. Well, that's fine. But my 4B, Brandon, there was a time where Quinnipiac had a brand new movie theater, right? Yeah. We saw a movie in. Do you remember the movie that we saw in?
Well, I think if I remember right, we actually said, because it was a free movie, and I think we saw all the movies there.
We saw all the movies, but there was this movie where I've never seen this happen in a movie theater, and never seen it again, where you sing, where it seems like everybody was singing the movie.
Lion King?
Exactly.
What's your famous laugh?
And I haven't done that laugh in a long time, and it's probably not time to bring it out now. But there was this creature, this animal that called Simba the Lion King. We called him Simba. Oh. And it was named Rafiki. And the person who voiced Rafiki also did a TV series called. Originally, he was a side character in a TV show called Soap, but then again he had his own where he played that character from Soap and moved it on. He was a butler for a family in this TV show called Benson. My number 4A is Dick Clark, and my 4B is Robert Guillaume.
That's a good one. Yeah, that was. I forgot that. For some reason, I always thought that movie theater was in Iron Mountain.
No, it was in Quinnipiac.
Yeah, which ain't too far from Iron Mountain.
No, but the one you're thinking of was the Bromart, which was just like 4 blocks from your house, 5 or 6 blocks from your house, down the hill.
Oh no, I wasn't there for that one.
You were never there for the Bromart? There was, it was.
No, because the one that was built was
No,
the
no.
one that we went to. That's the one I
No,
was.
that's what I'm talking about. I'm just
Oh,
saying
yeah,
that there
okay.
was 2 movie theaters.
Yeah, I didn't honestly know there was another movie theater in Night.
Yeah.
All right. So we're on 4. No, you're on 3 now. My number 3 is a name that gets brought up quite a bit when it comes to coaches in the NFL.
Did I bring him up on Sunday?
You did bring him up this past week. Talk about quarterback coaches, and this guy, was a head coach, but all his quarterback coaches became head coaches, which developed good quarterbacks, especially in Green Bay. My number 3 is the mastermind of the run and gun office, I think it was.
West Coast.
Bill Walsh.
He was the head of the West Coast offense.
West Coast offense, that's right, West Coast. Bill Walsh.
Well, I'm going to make you feel better because I'm doubled up here on 3.
All right.
I honestly think, I have. It's the phrase that pays. It's C2. It's not C2C unless we're sniping. My 3A is your. Are we on which? Did you go first?
We're on 3.
Okay.
Yeah.
My 3A is your 3, and my 3B is, to me, I still think is the best athlete to play in the NFL ever. My 3B is your 4. Is your 5. Bo Jackson.
Oh, you doubled up on them both at the same time. All right. Well, my number 2, what can you say about this? Honestly, the holiday season all around, like you said, he came up on parades. He comes up at the end of the year. American Bandstand. I know I'm missing some other shows that this guy was on. But, yeah, Dick Clark, what can you say about, especially New Year's, about that guy? So, you're number 2.
Wow. My number 2, we kind of talked about, to have a person who perseveres through a great war, especially like World War II. And the funny thing is, his mother, and I noticed this last week when we were doing our list of people who were born in certain states, and I had no idea that his mother was born in New York. Which is funny, which gives my number 2 dual citizenship because he was the prime minister of Great Britain during World War II. My number 2 himself is the man who led Britain through the darkest hour, Winston Churchill.
Yeah, I saw that name on there. I don't know why they put him on there. And the thing is, I knew you were going to have him on there. And I really thought you were going to have Woody Allen on there too. So
I thought about it.
What?
I thought about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I would have been. It would have been one of those that it would have been Woody Allen would have been my breaking point.
To be honest with this, I'm 11 deep, at least 11 deep, and I missed a couple that I really should put on there. I should have put.
Well, my number 1. Again, you guys know me, know my history, know my background. That I'm not much of a book reader, but.
Same thing you said last week.
What the thing is when it comes to books and authors, and you hear about them in school all the time, you got to have them on the list. And I wish I was a reader. I tried. It just doesn't get to me. I get bored. But my son is a good reader, and hopefully he reads some of his books.
He probably already has.
Probably, yeah. My number 1 is Mark Twain.
You said the exact same thing about him last week too. Well, you might as well go ahead and throw up that little flashy little sneaker looking thing that we give people, because my number 1 is your number 1. Now I'm going to tell you, I said I was 11 deep, right?
Yeah.
Where was Ben Stiller on your list?
He would have been. If I would have kept track of him, he probably would have been in the top 10.
Punch Rodriguez?
Yeah, I saw that name too. And it hurt me not to put him on there. Yeah, he would have been 6.
Or Christian Cage?
Oh, Christian Cage would have been another one. Yeah, that would have been up there too. I just didn't know who to take off.
That's why I doubled up on everything. I'm like, okay, yeah. I can double up actor.
Yeah,
actor.
but I like, I guess I could have doubled up on Bill Walsh and Bo Jackson, and then put Pudge in there because I do love Pudge Rodriguez.
I do too.
Probably one of my favorite catches of all time.
Yeah.
That guy could just throw BBs behind the plate without even moving. Just
him and Molina, Javier Molina.
yeah. So anyway, got a few minutes. Well, we're over, but whatever.
We got a few minutes left. No, we don't.
Yeah. I'm going to go with, and I know we done this topic before last year or the year before. Top 10 side dishes for Thanksgiving.
Oh man, I think we did do this one.
And this is coming from
I think we personally did one too. I've been on that site. That's a good site.
Number 10, and I'm looking at the thing, and I don't know why they put pecans in there.
Oh no, they
sweet potato pie casserole.
I love sweet potato pie. Oh, because
I love sweet potatoes, but I'm not an almond guy, so that turns me off.
Yeah,
that was at number 10. At number 9, creamy Brussels sprouts.
I love Brussels sprouts, just not for Thanksgiving.
Yeah. To me, it's not a Thanksgiving dish. Number 8, which I can eat any time of the week, especially if you put ham in it, scalloped potatoes.
Love it. Absolutely. Yeah.
And to me, it's not a Thanksgiving dish, but again, I can eat it anytime.
That's the only time I ever saw it.
What?
That's the only time I ever seemed to have saw it. Was it?
Oh, I could have scalloped.
Oh, I can have it anytime, but just it's the only time I ever saw it.
My number 7, I'm not a gravy guy, but number 7, they listed as the perfect gravy.
The fuck?
Yeah. I'm just like, whatever.
I had to stop myself from making this instead of making this a bro code conversation.
Yeah. At number 6, garlic parmesan roasted carrots.
No, see, you've already screwed it up. See, I don't. Carrots. This is going to be bad because I can see it coming up on a bro code episode after this. But I don't like soft carrots. I need my carrots hard.
I can honestly. I've always eaten carrots cooked and stuff, and I just within the last 15 years started eating carrots raw.
They're better raw. They're so much better raw.
Number 5, Southern baked mac and cheese.
No, don't screw it up by calling it baked. Regular mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese.
Mac and cheese is great.
I mean, granted, it's not
I'm still waiting for one. I'm still waiting for one side dish to come up.
Number 4, a family. Actually, my mom's go-to dish for any kind of family gathering is a green bean casserole.
There it is. There it is.
At number 4.
I love green bean casseroles. That's the only half the time. That's the only reason why I show up to family functions.
Yep. Oh yeah, you love ours.
I've had yours.
Wait,
there was one somebody made something that was it your aunt that made something that she always was like, was it your aunt?
I don't know.
Was it your Aunt Tammy that made?
Aunt Tammy always made like her big thing was it was a hamburger dish.
No, that's not it.
But anyway, number 3, Gucci stuffing.
What?
GNOCCHI. Stuffing.
Why screw up stuffing by saying with a weird first word?
Yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, it looks like noodles.
Oh, screwed up.
Yeah.
You screwed that up right away by saying noodles.
Yeah. Number 2, a Spanish salad.
What? As long as maybe if it's like taco salad, maybe.
It's crisp apple, sliced onions, toasted almonds. Yeah, almonds is out. I'm sorry.
That's fine. It doesn't.
And the number 1 side dish, according to Dish.com, roasted potatoes.
Okay, I'll give you that. But to me, you're missing cranberries. You're missing
traditional stuffing.
You're missing traditional stuffing. Traditional stuffing by itself is what basically. I don't have stuff. The thing is, I don't have stuffing most of the time any other day of the year unless it's
cornbread stuff is number 13.
What was number 12?
Number 12 was, yeah, I don't know. Nothing I've seen.
I don't know.
Number 14, melted potatoes. What?
What the hell is melted potatoes?
These are melted in your melted potatoes. They got the name tender, soft, herb, one bite. I don't know. To me, it looks like roasted potatoes with some kind of sauce on top. I'm just looking here to see if Eva Cranberries is on here. Classic stuffings number 16. A lot of potato dishes. Cranberry, bacon, green beans together.
I'm not a bacon person. Just
Mashed potato casserole. Number 20, cranberry sauce.
20. A good thing it's
Perfect
inside
mashed
you.
potatoes.
I'm so mad. My aunt Sharon makes this really good
Homemade mac and cheese was 28.
oh, wow. It's like people aren't smart. My aunt Sharon makes this really good spinach dip that I seem to only got during Thanksgiving. So
Yeah. No, my grandma used to make a corn dish. With it was just
that
regular corn.
one.
Yep. No, I love that dish. Nobody can make it like grandma, even though it's
I think your Aunt Tammy tried to make it once.
Aunt Tammy and Terry both tried to make it, and I blessed them and thanked them. But yeah, actually, Terry tried to make it the year Grandma passed away, and it brought tears to my eyes, but it still wasn't good.
Yeah, it's about the same way with people trying to make Indian bread.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my grandmother used to make Indian bread left and right and center too, and I can't do it.
So with that being said, Tim, final thoughts on this hour and a half long show.
Yep, this is a special show. We got to give you an extra hat. I'm not doing that ever again. People on Broco will be going, what in the world was Tim doing there? No, gave you extra half hour for us not being here yesterday, so you're welcome. Thanks for everybody for watching. Thanks, Kevin, for tuning in, and anybody else who was afraid to speak up. I'll be back with half a Brandon on Sunday for morning tailgate. Maybe this week I'll pick better games than my wife, who went 12-2, and then we'll be back here next week on C2C Rankem.
Yep, just keep checking us out. A lot of changes, a lot of things coming. Hopefully, winter time we'll get back to a normal schedule with most of our shows and hosts, and break down a lot of things. I know Sportsman has been kind of hit or miss, not just for myself but the crew itself. That should be tonight. Press Roll was late last night, so check that out. C2C late night with Callan and Big Game James, late Mondays. Kicking It's a hit or miss. Hopefully that comes up this week. Entertainment Hour with Chris and Randy. We like to make fun of that guy. Entertainment Hour, and then Monday or Sunday morning tailgate. So, and then Between the Ropes too. So, that being said, we'll see y'all next week on C2C Rankem. Have a good one.